Hello and welcome to Stitching Journal Club number 4. This is where I talk about cross stitch and any sciencey tidbits that I find interesting for the week. I want to thank everyone for their likes, subscribes, and really kind comments. I love reading comments. I read every one, and I try to at least give a little heart if I can't answer right away. So let's jump right into it. First, I want to talk about that I got some shout outs from Jody at Trixie Tricycle and Jessie from Bobo Jessie Stitches. Thank you so much for your kind words. I really appreciate it. They made my day, even though it was kind of strange. I was just sitting there watching, Flosstubes like I usually do, and all of a sudden I hear my name, and which made me just go like, what? Who's talking to me? So thanks again for the kind comments. I will link both of their channels below. So if you haven't yet, go check them out. So next I'll just jump right into it. What you're all here for. Heart sampler is done. I love this thing so much. I'm kind of sad that it's done, but here it is. Angel music. There it is. Now, let's look at it one more time. Let's just look at it one more time. There is Heart Sampler. I started this August of last year, 2021. I finished it right at the end of July, 2022. So almost a full year it took me to stitch this. I think, like I said before, I went through a lot with this. Just gaining new cross stitch skills and learning what I liked and how I like to stitch. I made some changes, mostly unintentionally, but some I did on purpose. For example, that big anatomical heart in the middle has some back stitching on the chart. I decided not to do it, just because I think it looks perfect as is with the shading and everything there. So I decided to skip the back stitching. On the side here, where did they go? Oh, here we go. These little mini hearts are filled in. I decided I didn't like, not that I don't like it, I prefer the open hearts there. So I decided not to fill in the rest. I'm not gonna go and take out those ones that I did fill in. I'll just leave them there. Let's see. Down at the bottom here, these squares, the light squares were charted in the chart as this dark red color. I decided to make them the lighter pink color just because I used a white fabric, and I thought on the white fabric contrasted with the really dark hatching there, I thought they would stand out better. Just little things like that. I did want to add some beading to this, but the beads that I bought I think are too big, so they didn't quite look right. So I decided to forego beads, making it sparkly, but it is perfect as it is. I'm not going to do anything else. So there's Heart Sampler. I'm going to frame it myself just because I want to learn how. And if that's a disaster, I can take it in to be framed professionally. But I'll try it on my own at first. But there's Heart Sampler. I'm so happy it's done. I'm so sad it's done. So there it is. I did learn a lot. I wanted to talk about some of the things that I learned stitching this, because it took me a whole year, and it was towards the beginning of my cross stitch hobby that I started this. So one of the first things I learned was in the beginning, I was stitching in hand. Like all of this on the top is mostly in hand. And then I got a stand. I use a Lowry stand now, but I had a table stand before. And that changed a lot. I picked up two-handed stitching pretty quickly. And just allowed me to sort of finish this faster than I would have if I did it in hand. I love stitching in hand just because you can pick up your project and do it anywhere, as opposed to my stand where I have to be in my stitchy spot. Don't get me wrong, I love my stitchy spot, but I can't really travel with my Lowry stand. Let's see what else. I learned how to start and end threads from the front. I just hate flipping my project back and forth to start and end threads. So learning how to start and end from the front was a game changer for sure. I'd probably only be like 2/3 done with this if I hadn't learned how to do that. So, you know, a lot of love went into this. A lot of love went into the design. The designer, Fergus from Bad Vibes Only Shop, clearly spent a lot of time and love in designing this, and I spent just as much stitching it. So there's Heart Sampler. I have probably pulled this thing up and showed you like 15 million times, so I'll stop doing that. Okay, so what's next? I am not quite as obsessed with my other projects as this, so I can definitely give more of them some love going forward. I think what I'm going to do is a modified sort of rotation. So I have this little planner. I put some stickers on the front. And so what I'm going to do is it has the days of the week on one side and just notes on the other side. So I'll write down what I want to accomplish for the week on this side. And then on this side, I'll just write down what I did. So for the next week, I want to make some progress on periodic table and pointed fifth. So I'll just get some stitching in each of those. And rather than go by number of days or number of stitches, I'll just keep going until, you know, I feel like it's time to move on. And we'll see how that goes. If any of you do a rotation, I know a lot of people do, and they have different ways of deciding how they rotate their projects. Let me know. I'd love to hear how you do yours. Since I finished Heart Sampler, I've been stitching on this one called Ribbit in the Night by Mama Witch X Stitch. She does a lot of Halloween and fall themed patterns in a very specific style. I really love her style. I would do all of her patterns if I could, but this is one I couldn't stop thinking about, so I started stitching on him. I thought about him so much, I even gave him a name and a little backstory, so if you'd like to hear, I shall share. His name is Sir Frogworth Jones III, except he's not really a sir, and he's not even a third. He just uses the name because I think he thinks it inspires confidence in his clients. You see, he's a paranormal investigator, and he's been trying to attract a higher caliber of client, thus commissioning this fancy portrait. So this is how far I've gotten. Got down to his little top hat, some of the mushrooms. This one's working up pretty quickly, even though it is a full coverage. Little cameo portrait. There's that. I've been stitching on him pretty steadily. I think I'm going to put him away for a while and get to the other projects I want to work on, but I'll get back to him pretty quickly. So there's Ribbit in the Night by Mama Witch X Stitch. The fabric is Terracotta by Witchelt. Nope, it's Zweigart. Terracotta 32 count. It's a fabric I've been having a hard time trying to figure out what to stitch on it, and so I just sort of randomly decided to do this project on this fabric, and I think it's working out really well. The colors are standing out great against the fabric. This is his color scheme. Those are the blues and golds and greens, and then more blues, creams, a couple of greens. So it's working out really well. There he is. The last thing I want to talk about is my most recent chart purchase. I'd heard that Chatelaine was having a sale, And even though I'm not really attracted to their mandalas that they put out, I decided to, why not take a look? So I moseyed on over to the website. I was scrolling on, and like I thought, nothing was really, interesting me until I saw one that made me go, ooh. So that's this one. It is called The Hanging Gardens of Semiramis, and it is just lovely. I love the colors. I love the little creatures on the arch. The garden inside just looks really lush and inviting. So I just went ahead and bought it with a discount while it was on sale. So I bought it, and I was just thinking to myself, I'm not really trying to start new projects lately, so I'll just, collect the supplies over time. But then I was on 123 Stitch, as you do, just found myself there. And I thought, why not just put things in the cart just to see how much it would cost? These take a lot of specialty threads and beads and stuff, so why not? Next thing I knew, here we go. All of my fancy floss. It's all floss except for the DMCs, which I need to check to see which ones I have and which ones I need to buy. But these are some petite treasure braids. Sparkly and gold and blue. I absolutely adore this color scheme. Rainbow Gallery Splendor Silk. See, these are water lilies in Mediterranean, spearmint, and pomegranate. Gorgeous. They feel so nice too. Let's see. Dinky dyes. A couple of these. I've got some needlepoint ink threads. Guys, look at all these blues. Oh my gosh, I can't. Gloriana. These are probably my favorites. I love how deep these colors are, both the blues and the green. This green is slightly variegated too. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but it comes across in person really beautifully. And then finally, it came with silk and colors. So I am going to start this soon because I spent all this money and I don't want to feel like I did it in vain. So I just need to figure out what fabric I want to do this on. So that is my hanging garden piece. I'm excited. I bought the bead pack from European Cross Stitch, but I think those take a while to come and I won't need it for a while. It's beads that go on at the end. So that is all of my stitching stuff. Now it's time for Journal Club. For today's Journal Club, we are going to space. The first images from the Webb Space Telescope were recently released to great and deserved fanfare. Using infrared cameras, this telescope will be able to see farther into space and into the past even than ever before. This is my favorite image that has been released so far. It is of a galaxy cluster called SMACS 0723. According to NASA, this image is of a piece of the sky that is about the size of a grain of sand when held up by someone on the ground. Like, what? It's just amazing. Each of these little points of light is a galaxy, and those faint dots in the background are from as far in space, which, like I said before, is also the past just because of how light works, as we've ever seen before. And here they are in sharp detail. It is awe-inspiring, and I'll just leave it at that. I'll link to the Webb Space Telescope site so you can take a look at the images and pick your favorite. Today's recommendation is the Expanse series by James S.A. Corey. It is about what happens when a remnant of alien technology is discovered and exploited, told through the eyes of a small spaceship crew. that is a really inadequate summary because the series itself is expansive. Pardon the pun. It's a great series. It's one of the best works of science fiction that I've read in the past couple of years. I listen to them on audiobook because the books are really long, and so I just listen to them at work or whatever. But I know there's a TV adaptation as well, which I hear is really good. I haven't seen it yet because I was waiting till the series was done, which the last book just came out this year. So I'll probably watch the TV show soon. I'll link to all three, the books, the audiobook, and the TV show, so you can pick which one you like. So that's it. That's all I have for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.